Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second season of Mod Talks. My name is Nikki Hill Albert, and I will be your host for today. Thank you guys for joining us together with Modularity Home, the exclusive distributor of premium Italian home brands Scavolini, Valgocine Bianca, and Elica. Now, for those newly tuned in today, Modularity Home focuses on cabinetry systems and living systems for the home. So, from kitchens, where I am proud to say I am a Scavolini kitchen user myself, as well as bathrooms, living rooms, wardrobes, and walk in closets. So, they produced Mod Talks, which is a webinar series that aims to inspire and ignite interest in style, design, and architecture among our end users, fellow industry practitioners, and students with specific conversations on new design concepts for different spaces of our homes. For today's episode, we will be talking to a very special guest on how to create a statement in your bathroom. She will be sharing her thoughts on the design essentials that you need to consider for this particular space. And I cannot wait to introduce her. But before we start our conversation, I'd like to remind everyone that we will be having a portion where you, our audience members, can ask whatever question it is that you would like to ask our speakers. So at the end, just feel free to type in your questions in the chat box. Make sure to indicate your name, though, because we will be giving away prizes to two lucky winners with the best questions chosen by our speaker. Alrighty, let me turn you over to the man making all of this happen for us, Modularity Home's General Manager, Brian Ontiveros, to share a few words. Hey, Brian.
Hi, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you again, Nikki. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending our fourth episode of Mod Talks Season 2. As Modularity Home's vision is to be part of your home, Mod Talks has always been one of our goals for the company in establishing a platform to collaborate with professionals we respect in the industry. We really want to be able to share with the community valuable insights on a platform people can easily access, especially during the pandemic. Even as things are starting to slowly open up, I know, Nikki, you want to do live events already. We still
Yes.
want this effort to be available for everyone, especially for our end users who are building homes, students who want to learn, to help keep them informed and hopefully share new perspectives and approaches to home design. I think this format is really ideal for educating a lot of people. And since this will be on YouTube, it can be rewatched and watched all over again. Thank you to the audience for your continued support and for inspiring us to do what we do. Thank you also to my friend and guest speaker for today for sharing her time with us. This will be a very interesting episode, which I hope you guys will enjoy. I'll turn you over back to Nikki to formally introduce the guests.
Thank you, Brian. All right, allow me to introduce our guest speaker for today. She is an interior design graduate from the Assumption College. She is a licensed interior designer who has worked for 6 years at an internationally acclaimed architectural firm in Manila, Leandro Viloxin Partners. She then moved on to open her own interior design firm, Chat Forest Design Studio, which specializes in doing residential projects, commercial, hospitality, and amenity spaces for various real estate companies here in the Philippines. So the studio has collaborated with international design firms such as Casa Armani, Versace Home, Missoni Home, Champigny for residential buildings in Manila. And at the same time, she's currently an executive director for the esteemed Philippine Institute of Interior Designers and a member of the advisory board of the College of Architecture and Design of Enderun College. Please welcome one of the industry's finest, IDR Chat Forest. Hi, Chat.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, everyone. Nice to
Thank
see
you so
everyone
much
here.
for joining us.
Hi.
I know you must be very busy.
Well, yeah, things are picking up with everything opening up, no? So
I can imagine.
I can finally get out of the office and get out and go to the site and see everything.
That's
And I saw
right.
your house a few weeks ago.
That's right. Yeah, we have a little something for everyone in a few weeks. But yeah, thanks for joining us, chat. And for the first time in Mod Talks, we are also honored to have with us Scavolini Italy's head of design and the master behind all the wonderful Scavolini products, Sonia Geminiani. She's also joined by Scavolini's Asia Pacific Regional Manager, Pietro Baruca. Hi, Sonia and Pietro. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi to everyone. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, hello, hello. Thank you for having us.
All right. Well, I think we should just get right to it. I guess I'll throw my first question to Chat. If it weren't yet very obvious, Chat, you have a very unique sense of style when it comes to interior design. You know, really statement making work. Can you tell us more about how you arrived at this aesthetic? I mean, I'm sure you have specific influences, and can you share with us how you arrived again with this very unique aesthetic?
I know it's gonna sound so corny, but really, I became like this maybe because of my mom, and people who know me will know that if they see my mom, they know it's my mom. But mainly because when I was young, I grew up in the 80s, and we never had internet. We didn't have a phone. We didn't have anything in the house except for MTV and my trusted Walkman and probably a playground outside. And so in the afternoons, all I did was read, and all my mom had was Arts of Asia, House Beautiful, Home and Garden. I don't know if there are magazines out there like that still, and Architectural Digest. And so 5 years old, I was reading all these magazines because she'd make me read them. Oh, here, read it. So I'd read it, and I was so interested in all these designs that I would see. And at that point, I'd see Navajo designs and all these cabins and all that. And I really loved it because we didn't have that here. And somehow it stuck in my head. And, as I grew older, I think when I turned 12 or 13, I knew I wanted interior design. And it also helped that my father, who was in the medical field, and also my brothers, supported me all the way. And when I got into interior design, I've never said this, but when I passed my board exam, I'm one of those few lucky ones that have been mentored by the PIID founding members, Tito Johnny Hobilia, Tito Jerry, Ninang Suset, Cocoaco. I'm so happy that they've been there through my journey. So I guess that's how I moved on into this profession. And I think this kind of design has always been my style as a kid, because I've always been the weird one,
eccentric.
Kind of, but then I had friends. I wasn't the owner.
Quirky's a better word.
In grade school, kids would dance to Material Girl by Madonna, and I would dance to Jump by Van Halen. So I was the kid who liked Def Leppard and all that. So I tried. Yeah, see, so I was just that kind of kid that liked other things. But, it was a varied interest that I liked. And I'd hang around with my brother's friends and play basketball and things like that. So I don't know, I guess it stuck when I got older. And I guess it also helped that my grandmother from my dad's side is also Thai. So she has an aesthetic. She's a fashion designer that ran luxury boutiques, and she ran her own hotel, Dusit Hotel. And so she has that taste that's a bit, she's quite different. So I guess I also got it from her. So, but I mean, for me, I think the main drive was my supportive parents also.
So, Chat, when you've decided to turn interior design into a profession, I'm sure you've encountered and come across other influences in the field. Care to name a few that inspired you to come up with this specific design philosophy?
Well, when I was younger, I had inspirations, Mika Ertegun, I had John Saladino. When I got older, I had, Fabio Novembre, who's my super duper duper idol. And, I have, these, every time I read, I have Anushka Hempel. I can name a lot, all my books that I have and the people I read. But, truthfully, it's collectively everything I see and everything that, when I travel, when I look at art, a lot of things inspire me. So it's not just one, two, or three, but I feel like even if I go to the mall, I get inspired. Something I see every day, I get inspired. I see my dog, I get inspired. So it really depends. I mean, I think it's the passion for the work.
Yeah. But if you were to describe your aesthetic, in one word, the chat forest aesthetic in one word, or fine, a phrase, what would it be?
I think fearless. I don't
Fearless.
necessarily have a certain style, but I
Mhm.
like creating a little touch somewhere. I don't really care if it touches a nerve somewhere, but I don't naman design thinking that I like this and this is it. No, it's
Mhm.
just like I want to do something different for somebody, and that's what I feel is special for the client. So
Yeah.
I don't do cookie cutter. I do a different thing for another client and something else for another.
It's always a different experience for each
Yeah,
client.
correct.
Well, before we get any deeper into the discussion, let's get the audience, let's have them weigh in on a little poll. We have a question for everyone because we're talking about a space that, not many homeowners really give much attention to. I mean, it's not the first thing that you think of when you're designing a house. And so we're discussing the bathroom today, and I'd like to ask the audience, what do you typically prioritize in your bathroom design? So we have a little window that just popped up on your screens right now. Please click and vote. We just want to know if you are big into storage. Like, is this something that takes top priority when it comes to your bathroom design? Is lighting a big deal to you? Shower and bath, does that get all of your bathroom construction budget? Is flooring at all something that you pay attention to, or is it the vanity area? So let us know what you guys think. Maybe we can ask chat what your vote is.
Me, I don't know all. But the first thing,
They're all important.
the first thing though is a floor, because I'm quite choosy with my flooring because I have kids, so that's the
Mhm.
first thing I look at. And I've had an accident with my son in the bathroom, so he's fallen and opened his skull in the bathroom. So I'm quite
Yikes.
particular with the floor.
Okay.
So that's the first thing I look at.
Yes, safety. Okay,
Yeah.
floor. Maybe we can ask Sonia what she thinks. Sonia?
Oh, for me is obviously the vanity area.
The vanity.
Okay, I speak in Italian, it's not a problem for
Mhm.
you. Direi la vanity area perché la scelta della tipologia di lavabo che viene scelta dal cliente influenza poi tutta l'estetica e il design del mobile che viene poi progettato insieme al lavabo. Quindi, come vedete alle mie spalle, un lavabo di un'altezza importante poi condiziona anche la scelta del contenimento sottostante. Pietro, can you
So,
help me?
yeah, I will help Sonia to translate in English. What she said is for her, the first thing she looks at when designing a bathroom is the vanity area, especially it's
Mhm.
the water area, the sink area, because that's the point where she, according to what type of sink you will choose, how high the sink is. For example, the one you can see in her background is on the top sink, so it's the height of the sink will influence how tall the cabinet will be, and will influence the whole style of the bathroom. So that's the point where she will start to design all the rest.
Esatto, quindi
Thank
comanda
you.
anche tutte le scelte degli accessori, dei complementi, la zona della specchiera, quindi tutto quello che riguarda la parte centrale dell'ambiente bagno, diciamo, si sviluppa intorno alla vanity area e poi influenza tutto il resto.
So yeah, in her philosophy, the core of the bathroom is in the water area, in the sink. So according also to what you choose there, that will influence very strongly the mirror, the accessories, everything around it. So she will start from that center and then go from there.
Got it. Thank you very much. So for Sonia, it's the lavatory that takes center stage, and you just work around everything else. All right. So our audience members voted vanity area as well. I would have to agree. That was the first thing that we designed when we were designing our bathroom. I mean, it is the thing that you look at for a really long time when you're in the bathroom. So you want to make sure that you like what you see. Okay, so before we go on, we will be again giving away exclusive modularity home goodies later. So please stay tuned for that. And again, just a reminder, please put your whole names in the chat box so we can easily get your details afterwards. All right, now let me throw a question to Brian in chat. You guys have done a lot of home projects, especially for kitchens, for example. And when it comes to bathrooms, as I mentioned earlier, it's usually one of the last spaces in the design process. It's pretty straightforward. You have your water closet, lavatory, shower, bath, and that's it. But for you both, how important is bathroom design, and what things do you need to consider or prioritize? Like, where do you even start? Maybe we can start with chat.
Well, for me, I actually start with the bathroom first in the house, in any residential project, because I'm normally asked, we need to buy the bathroom fixtures for the pipes. So you have to match the brand with the pipes. No? So that's the first thing we do. Really, for the bathroom design, I'm quite particular with the vanity, the mirrors, the fixtures and the fittings. That's normally the decision of the client, because for me, it's what's comfortable for them. But the vanity, I have to get in there and give them a choice that we have to make it functional and efficient. Especially nowadays, wellness is a big factor in interior design, because you don't only come home to relax, you have to come home, relax, and rejuvenate. And the bathroom is one of the only spaces that you relieve yourself, you clean, and refresh yourself all in one space. So it's really one of the most important spaces in the house. And, with Scavolini, there's so many choices for the vanity. And I was just talking about, there are a lot of technologies that you can use for the bathroom now. The shower, light as therapy, the comfort for your seats, which are the toilet seats that warm up. Everything is touched, instead of, touch screen, etc. All those things, no? But, there's one thing that caught my eye with Scavolini, and it's called the Dandy. I don't know if we have it here, but the Dandy is a taskbar. There, it's a taskbar above the bar counter. And I love it because, it's a multitask accessory. A lot of people don't look at accessories in the bathroom, but for me, that's the most important, because, I love earrings, I love necklaces, and that's what I bring into the bathroom. And, anything that makes a client comfortable is one thing that you have to consider first. So the taskbar, can we rewind to that taskbar? The taskbar, that Dandy, I love it because there's a concealed light that lights up your counter. And then you have a towel bar, and then you have a charger for your phone, and then you have the charger for your shaver or your hair dryer, whatever it is. No? But I love it. It's all in one system, and it's one bar. So, it's quite a thing that I would love to have in my bathroom, or a bathroom you're designing. So you think of those little things to make your bathroom spectacular. Of course, it's nice to have a really fancy bathroom, but you have to start off with the things that give the client function and, efficiency. So that's one thing that I would like to stress. And storage. Yes.
Yeah.
Brian?
I think it's a very good opportunity for us to talk about the bathrooms, because we're really so used to designing kitchens, and we do kitchens day in and day out. But with Chat here, as she said, she designs bathrooms first, and we really wanted to engage with Chat because she's that expert in designing these parang statement bathrooms. Based on our experience, as Chat said, I think these bathrooms that we do are really not cookie cutter. So it really depends on the type of person who's going to use it. Just from the perspective of a dealer of Scavolini in the Philippines, clients tend to prioritize the master bathroom. And my wife was there using our master bathroom for an hour or 2 hours last night. So I understand the concept of wellness. And then after that, clients would also invest a lot in the powder room, because this is like another room that many people actually use. So Yeah, I think these are the two main rooms that people really invest in, and this is what we really focus on in terms of designing for clients.
Since you were talking about just the different like idiosyncrasies of your clients, right? I mean, they will all have their own special requests. You
Mhm.
think you can give us a few of like just a few examples of the very specific things that your clients have asked from you? I guess from Chat as a designer and from Brian as a bathroom supplier,
Yeah.
bathroom fixture supplier.
Chat, do
In
you want to
the
go first?
bathroom,
Chat, go ahead.
yeah, in the bathroom, special requests. Normally before years ago, I'd find it funny that it always asks for a bench so they can, you know, in the shower, but they're not old. But I used to find it funny that to shave their hair and all that, and
Yes.
things like that. But now it's so basic, right? But
Yeah.
when I was much younger, I'm like, what? Well, you can stand up doing that, right? But then things like that. But I realized that there's so many things that you do in the bathroom now, especially like now, special request is like, oh, I have to have a phone holder in the bathroom. And then
Mhm.
in the shower, is there like a waterproof phone holder? I need to put that there. And then, of course, your counter has to be very specific because there are a lot of facial products now that people put and hair products. And some people even brush their teeth more than 2 minutes. So those things, those little requests, you have to really make up for. And that's what I mean by comfort. You really
Yeah.
have to get to know your client. That's why we have a checklist for our clients. Like, how long do you use the bathroom? Who will use the bathroom? Even questions like how many times do you brush your teeth? How many times do you take a bath? We have to ask those because like
Yeah.
you're saying, Brian, your wife spent like almost an hour or 2 hours in the bathroom. We have to check because some people even have showers now have misting. So you have the hot spa, then you have the misting, then you have the cold spa. So that will take an hour nga. And then the face.
You're giving her ideas, Chat.
Yeah, you have all
Add
those
some stuff.
so your bathroom becomes a wellness spa. So
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
they even incorporate a steam room inside the bathroom. And
Yeah.
now the bathrooms are even bigger than the master bedroom.
Yeah, I agree. I think on our side, one thing is consistent. Most of the time, people want the vanity to be hanging so that it's easy to clean underneath. It's a standard request. Double sinks, double toilets, parang double showers. These are all standard requests now for master bathrooms. Um, as Chat said, we have a checklist. We ask clients what they really store into the cabinets. Many people, it's quite obvious that you have to store your extra tissue paper, toilet paper, toothpaste, soaps. In the past, people wouldn't really invest in storage or vanities in the bathrooms. So you'd store all of these things outside of the bathroom in the family hall or somewhere else, wherein it's really not convenient to walk back and forth, especially if you're not wearing clothes. So aside from that, I think another pretty standard request would be storage for the water heaters. It's a technical
The
request.
multi-point.
Yeah, the multi-point heater. So like a bathroom like this would not be able to accommodate that. So we
Yeah.
would put like a cabinet either above the counter or like a thicker base cabinet where we can put a storage cabinet for the water heater. So it really depends on the types of clients that we have. Sometimes there's like feng shui requests. Like a client would want this type of cabinet because it's circular or half moon. And then you choose colors, materials, etc., etc. So it's an interesting space. It's such a small space, but you can express so much of your character by designing using these different colors and systems. Yep.
I just want to know, since the pandemic, again for both Chat and Brian, have these requests changed at all, or were there new requests specific to the pandemic?
Bigger
Chat?
and better.
Bigger and
Bigger
better. Okay.
bathrooms, better bathrooms.
Bigger and bigger.
Bigger
Yeah.
and bigger.
And biggest.
Yeah, with the resurgence of with COVID and all, there's special requests now. Like there are listening rooms in houses. Like they have a room where they can listen to their records. There are rooms for tweens. They can play games. There is specific rooms already for specific people because we stay home more. So there are
Yeah.
different rooms, different spaces. So it's very, very personalized. So the bathroom is the biggest deal. Even kids now request for a lot of things in the bathroom.
Yeah, I know for sure skincare has become somewhat of a religion in the in the last few years. So yeah, I can imagine this rise in importance of bathroom design. My next question goes to Sonia. So Pietro, if you can help us out. When it comes to designing specific bathroom systems, because obviously you are head of design for Scavolini Italy, you've designed several. What is your design process? Like how much research is put into ensuring that they're beautiful aesthetically and functional at the same time?
Diciamo, il processo di design generalmente quando approcciamo un nuovo modello è quello di partire da ricerche di mercato, quindi la ricerca sulle riviste di settore, quindi sul web design, e ci informiamo a livello commerciale con la nostra rete vendita soprattutto, con cui siamo costantemente in contatto.
Okay, so one way to approach when we design a new model, because we have new models coming out every year. One way to approach is to start looking at the market. So we look at what's in the market already. We look at magazines online to see what's the new trends, and also we talk with our dealers network, such as Brian for the Philippines or all the dealers we have around the world, to see because they are the ones who talk every day with the architects in the field when they talk with the clients. So just for example, as Chat mentioned, phone holders, we need our sales network to give us this type of feedback, like what are the clients asking for in your specific area.
E sicuramente la difficoltà, ma anche la cosa più affascinante che un'azienda come Scavolini, che esporta in tutto il mondo, deve poter fare quando approccia un nuovo modello è cercare di capire come quel nuovo design può essere veramente funzionale in tantissimi paesi con differenti esigenze. Quindi vedevo già in chat la domanda di come potrebbero progettare in Sudafrica un bagno, no? Quindi poterci anche immedesimare in quello che sono le esigenze veramente diverse che i vari paesi possono insomma richiedere al nostro mobile.
So one of interesting, exciting sides of Sonia's job is that we as Scavolini export basically all over the world. So it's when we look at a new model, we have to think, how can this model serve the very different needs of architects and of clients and of end users all around the world. So how can this model be, have flexibility and, have to have different functions that can accommodate very different styles and very different needs that people around the world have.
Quindi diciamo, quando approcciamo un nuovo progetto, la cosa più importante è cercare di capire cosa può mancare, no? A quello che già offriamo come prodotto esistente, in modo da cercare di coprire quelle che sono le esigenze che magari possono mancare, che quindi possono esserci richieste ulteriormente da un mercato che è in un'evoluzione velocissima.
So again, one of the way to approach a new model is to ask ourselves, what are we missing? What is that we have many products, many accessories, many styles, but what are we still missing that the market is asking us? So how can we feel a need that it's in the market?
All right, thank you. I can imagine how challenging it must be to try to collate this information, because I believe that, and I'm sure that many different countries will have many different needs. They'll have their own preferences in terms of like finishes and layouts. So maybe I can go back to asking Chat just for a more Pinoy specific design. I know that most clients here in the Philippines like the minimalist design approach when it comes to bathrooms. But for you, what is what is your design preference first and foremost, and how do you add your own personality and make it a very chat forest space, given their request for a more minimalist design approach?
Well, modern doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be minimal. So we can do modern, that approach, without having that minimal naman. You can have just one finish and it's all clean, no? But of course,
Yeah.
you want to put in one pop of color or two. Like, Scavolini has that pop. In the 80s, in the late 80s, I used to dream about Scavolini as a kid. And I used to think, oh my God, I remember that red. And I used to think I wanted a red bathroom with a high gloss. And that was unheard of here in Manila. And I kept on bothering my mom. Mom, I want that kind of, cabinet in my bathroom. And, when Scavolini came here, I'm like, oh my God, I finally saw that red. No, so it's just a matter of color. You have the I love that diesel vanity on screen, that really, 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 really nice. But you can have, you can have just a pop of color, but keep the clean lines and no clutter. For me, a good bathroom, just prevent the clutter, because the clutter is your clients, because they'll have their toiletries and all their stuff hanging around there. So just keep it clean. Now, how do you add the drama? Of course, you add the drama first through the space inside. You start with the ceiling, probably with the lights, a drop light, a chandelier, a wall light, and then the vanity. You add the drama there going down. And then, not all your walls like here are tiled. You can have some walls in wallpaper, whatever that doesn't get wet. Wallpaper, paint, decorative paint. You can have a mural, tiles in the shower, but anything that's kind of dry, you can do something else. So you can create that drama. And then, as you see here, you have different vanities. You don't have to stick to one countertop and that's it. No, you can play a variety of finishes, and it still looks modern and clean, right? So you can have just that one pop of color and really good lighting to enhance your face, and you have that bathroom. And the goal really is to create a comfy and functional bathroom. And what we do is we take in the personality of the client, and that's what we put together, and we make the bathroom, and then we add our own drama in there. So we actually take the client first and put them in there. So there you go.
Brian, you and Chat have worked on several projects. Maybe you can walk us through just some that you guys have done to kind of show us how Modularity Home and Scavolini fit into the design approach of Chat.
I think with Chat, since she's very specific with what she wants, we're also here to support whatever design aesthetic her clients want. So we've had a client who wanted something that was minimal. So we would find like a model that would fit into that particular profile. But sometimes there are clients that they're looking for something more classic. We also have that, and I think somebody like Chat would be able to curate a certain area wherein everything is modern, but then the vanity is classic, right? That's something that we can't do as normal people. It has to be someone like Chat who can put together something like this. So
it's a Chat
models, yeah, I mean, these models like this, I mean, it's very difficult to match it, mix and match it. So we somebody like Chat would be able to create like a very nice total solution for the end customers. So that's the excitement of working with Chat, understanding what her customer wants, and then trying to fit Scavolini solutions into that puzzle. Yeah.
I really want to use the gym space, actually. The one in the background of Pietro. There.
I think this is the diesel gym space.
Yeah, the diesel gym space. That's a half gym with a little vanity sink. There. I love this piece. I've always loved this, Brian. I will find somebody who will use this.
So
it's so convenient. You can have a little gym with a bathroom that's semi-enclosed.
Yeah.
Really, really nice.
Which again is something that a lot of homeowners are trying to find space for in their home since the pandemic. Everyone's trying to build their own home gyms, so this is a perfect addition.
You know how they the man of the house would like his own room. This
like
is
a man cave.
Yeah, this is perfect for his room, and then he has like a little office in one area. So
That's right.
it's really, it's a nice addition.
Yeah.
So very clear that Scavolini has a wide range, not only when it comes to kitchens, but also when it comes to bathrooms. You know, it can suit many different themes, from classic to a more modern look. But I guess I'll throw this question to Sonia. What makes Scavolini different from others in terms of bathrooms, from other brands, in terms of bathrooms?
Io penso che una delle cose che ci differenzia tanto da altre aziende del settore è anche questo voler collaborare in maniera così stretta con i designer e gli architetti. Noi abbiamo moltissime linee di prodotto, tra cui Gym Space, che abbiamo progettato insieme a un designer, un architetto esterno, quindi Marco Pareschi, o Dandy Plus, con cui abbiamo collaborato con Fabio Novembre, che è uno dei più importanti architetti italiani a livello internazionale. Quindi questa volontà di voler veramente prendere il design e portarlo all'interno di un'azienda che fa prodotto industriale.
So Sonia thinks that what really makes the difference between us and our other brands in the market is our very strong collaboration with architects and designers. For example, just to mention two lines that Chat has mentioned, the Gym Space is a model that we designed together with Mattia Pareschi, which is an important Italian designer, and Dandy Plus we designed together with Fabio Novembre, which is one of the most important designers in Italy at the moment. So these collaborations allow us to push a little bit the limits of, we are an industrial company, and together with these designers we are able to come up with something that's really new, that's really was not in the market before we did it.
Esatto.
Sonia, anything else you'd like to add?
Sì, cioè, diciamo che queste collaborazioni ci aiutano anche a poter dare proposte molto differenti in termini di estetica. Parlavamo prima del fatto di poter avere modelli che hanno magari una linea classica piuttosto che luxury o minimalist, come ad esempio utilizza spesso Chat, come dicevate poco fa. E la grande ricerca che svolgiamo anche sui materiali, sulle finiture, quindi la ricerca di mercato che c'è dietro al prodotto Scavolini ci permette di creare un ventaglio di opzioni, di possibilità veramente, veramente importante.
So by matching these collaborations with different designers, we are able to do many different styles, because every designer will bring in its own concept, its own idea of how a bathroom should look like. So we go from the classic bathrooms to the industrial bathrooms like the diesel line we've seen before, to minimalist bathrooms like the key bathroom from Nendo that we have also seen a picture before. And by matching this with our own expertise on industrial solution, on materials that we have, because obviously we have a strong expertise on materials, because that's what we do as a company. By matching these two elements, we are able to have a very, very, very wide range of solutions that we can offer to architects such as Chat. We can give her a big palette of colors, of solutions that she can use to make her idea come true.
So there you go, highly customizable, perfect for collaborations with designers. That is what makes Scavolini different from the other brands. We actually have a lot of students and aspiring architects and interior designers who are listening to us today. Maybe I can ask all three of you, Brian, Chat, and Sonia, for just some pieces of advice that you would like to give these future architects and interior designers when it comes to preparing for their future clients' bathroom spaces. So maybe we can start with Sonia.
Sì, il microfono, ok. Direi che diciamo avere chiaro l'idea del layout dell'ambiente bagno, quindi capire bene dove posizionare le varie funzioni e dargli un'armonia, quindi una facilità di utilizzo ogni giorno, credo che sia fondamentale. Dopo di questo viene, diciamo, la ricerca ad esempio sulla palette cromatica, quindi sui colori, sui materiali che poi influenzano, ad esempio, la scelta di un pavimento piuttosto che di un rivestimento ceramico.
So in Sonia's idea, the suggestion is to start from the layout. So start from the layout of the bathroom, understand where all the functions should be, like, you know, from the vanity to the toilet to the shower. Create your layout, think about how the client is gonna move inside this layout, how he's gonna use the different functions, so the bathroom is functional. And when you have this set down, then you can start and go into the choosing the color palette, choosing the finishing for the floor or the wall, or all the other let's call them details, but you need to set down the layout first, because that's clearly the first, in Sonia's idea, is the first step you need to take to have a functional bathroom.
So make sure the cake is good before we put the frosting. Brian, would you like
Nikki,
to weigh in on this?
Did you try to translate what Sonia said, Nikki?
I actually did a little bit. I mentioned it to you.
You should learn Italian soon. No,
It sounded very beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I think in our particular experience, we really have to understand what the clients really want. You know, with things being so easily accessible nowadays, websites, social media, Pinterest, Instagram, you know, clients really know what they want. So we just have to understand exactly what they're asking for. It's just of course, if there are interior designers here, it's the job of the interior designers to actually direct the clients towards something that will be sustainable. Some clients request for things that are, you know, not sustainable, right? It won't last, won't last long. It's too out there. It won't be functional. So I think as interior designers from the industry, I think it's our job together to actually direct the clients towards something that's a total solution that can be used for the long term, right? So yeah, visit us if you guys need any help. We're here to help you guys out. Or for the end users, hire someone like Chat. So you know, you come up with a statement bathroom of your own.
Thank you, Brian. Chat?
It's quite refreshing to see a lot of details from Scavolini that we don't normally use here. And, you know, it's even for me, I'm actually excited to use some in some of my clients' bathrooms. And, you know, like even the little things, you know, when you do design, agree that the plan should start first, because that's when you'll know what to put. You know, just don't think of the water closet, the shower, the faucet. Don't think of the basics. Think of the function. So the plan first. And agree with Sonia that you have to think of what storage you need, how you function in your bathroom.
Yeah.
And that's how I think you should start. And, you know, I just judged a national competition for bathroom design a few days ago. And I realized none of these were there. These were for students. So I feel like, you know, I think kids now have to research more, not just Pinterest, but look at design magazines and read up, and you'll know these brands, because I knew Scavolini in the 80s because I read the magazines. You'll see the brands there because they pay millions for ads, and they pay millions for Isalone. You know, they're to be out there. So, you know, it's nice to research. And, you know, it pays back if you learn all of these, and you'll start designing better. You know, just from this, I learned so much also. So, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, even at my age, I have to learn more. There are more things that I have to know. And, you know, for me, you have to gather inspiration from everything that you see. So it's good to really research and think about safety, maintenance, comfort.
I think, chat, for many young designers, there is a desire to be like you, fearless right away, without exactly mastering the basics just yet. You know, some are rushing to, you know, kind of like, I don't want to
Get
say
out there.
show up, impress. They are rushing to
Yeah.
impress without really, you know, focusing on what's important. Just like what you mentioned, which is, you know, the layout, storage, movement, and, you know, color and finishings. They can come in later on. But yeah, definitely, fearless can only come once you have done the work, served the hours, just like Miss IDR Chat Forest here. So thank you very much for your insight, Chat, Brian, Sonia, and we definitely got a lot of insight from this enlightening conversation. Thank you for letting us in on are these industry secrets, trade secrets. Thank you for being so generous with your answers. At this point, we'd like to open the floor to our audience members. They have a few questions for Chat, Brian, and Sonia. After this Q&A, again, Chat will choose her top two questions, maybe the two that stumps her or leaves her speechless. I doubt there will be any, but Chat will be picking her favorites, and they will be given the
Oh, I have to
modularity
look now.
hand soaps and fragrances. So please make sure your names are placed so we can easily identify you guys. So while we're waiting for these questions to come in, maybe I can ask my own as an aspiring designer. Chat, what is your design pet peeve?
With clients or with anything that I see?
With maybe not clients. Some of them may be watching and identify themselves today, so maybe not the clients. A design pet peeve: when you walk into a space and you see it, it makes your skin crawl. What is this?
Design details that are not thought of. Like, you know,
Okay.
things that aren't supposed to be seen that are seen. You know, basic things like, you know,
Ah,
it doesn't have to be, you know, something bold or whatever, but little details that, you know, construction details that shouldn't be out there. Like,
hide the exhaust fan. Things
yeah,
like
little
the
things like, you know,
eyesores.
like floor outlets, pop up floor outlets, and they use wall outlets, things like that.
I
Morally
see, I
wrong
see.
things, you know, and
Yeah.
it just drives me nuts that, you know, people don't research before they do the stuff. You know, things
Mhm.
can cause fire, little things like that. Nothing too fancy, just basics.
Yeah.
Got it, got it. For Sonia, I have a question. Seeing as you've designed several bathrooms, I just want to know what your personal favorite is when it comes to aesthetic. Like, if you were to design your own bathroom, what would it look like?
Quindi il mio preferito è tra i modelli Scavolini, giusto?
Sì, sì.
Ok. Io diciamo che propenderei per qualcosa che abbiamo disegnato internamente, quindi come modello penso che sia molto bello tratto, do you know? Quindi un modello pulito con però questi dettagli metallici in ottone, bronzo, alluminio che gli danno comunque una sensazione di tecnico, quindi che ci sia dietro uno studio importante anche dal punto di vista della qualità e della ricerca del materiale.
So Sonia, for her bathroom, would choose probably our Tratto line. I don't know if you can bring up a picture. It's a very modern and clean bathroom, very minimalist, but with it has some metal details, the metal handle, which yes, here it is. So the metal details of the handle, you can see of the accessories that can all match together. And this one is the brass, but there's different colors you can choose. So you
Exactly.
have a very clean, minimalist bathroom, but you have these metal details that when you look at them or even when you touch them, they give you a strong feeling of material, of research into the materials. They give you a strong feeling of quality also. That's, it's something that's been carefully thought about. So this is
Diciamo
probably the model.
la cosa, diciamo, bella di questo modello è che anche in spazi piccoli, come può essere appunto anche un bagno, il secondo bagno, questi accessori, questi elementi freestanding sono molto utili per poter arredare magari anche spazi come gli angoli o le parti laterali del punto acqua, che spesso sono anche, diciamo, problematici cioè, per sfruttare lo spazio e per dare maggiore contenimento agli oggetti che ci sono. Quindi Tratto è uno di quei modelli che ti permette di poter giostrare anche spazi molto piccoli.
So this model has a very strong flexibility, and also with these freestanding accessories that we've seen in the picture just now, like the toilet, the towel hanging rack that you can place even in a corner or just, beside the vanity. It gives you a lot of flexibility to, even for smaller spaces like the second bathroom, or, if you have a smaller bathrooms, you have lots of choices that can make your bathroom more functional and also can help you give, character to your bathroom. So it's a model that really can fit into bigger, smaller spaces, and it's very flexible. So it's you can, use it as you like to create the bathroom you want.
Thank you very much, Sonia and Pietro. We now move on to the questions from our attendees. I think I'd like to start with this first question coming from Holland Lim. She says, how do we ensure that our bathroom design matches the design outside? So I'd like to rephrase this and ask, is that at all, maybe Chat can answer this, is that at all a rule? Do the bathrooms have to match the rest of the house, or can it be a standalone space in terms of design?
Me, basically, I would not exactly match it, but at least similar concept. So if I had a client who had a really funky house, and her bathroom was, her mother was a really good muralist and she was a glamorous client. So her wallpaper was done in a jungle scene with metallic animals, cheetah, metallic, lion, really beautiful in forest green. It's similar to the Cartier concept. And her outside was just in a very metallic purple and yellow. I mean, it has to have the same appeal. It doesn't have to look the same, but the same approach, perhaps. So, I mean, all these bathrooms can easily go with anything. The one that Brian has, the classic one, is a very transitional look that you can do with anything that's contemporary or hotel-like. Like French boutique hotels always use that concept with a mix of color, like purple and yellow, pink and green, and they mix that color in a French boutique hotel, and that already looks modern. So you don't necessarily have to follow the rules.
Got it. Next question is coming from Nestor Lim. How do you create a statement in a bathroom covering a small area such as those found in studio units or condos? Maybe Brian and Chat can weigh in on this.
Mina, okay. For a studio, I actually started doing my work. I started doing 13 square meter bathrooms, studios actually. So bathrooms were really sparse, but what we did was we played around with a vanity. So all your storage is within the vanity and the mirror is bigger. So you play around with still having that luxury of size. I don't believe in making things small just because your bathroom is small. You can play around with reflection. You can play around with texture. There are many things to play with, even lighting, your ceiling, your color. You can have color even with a small bathroom.
Got it. Doesn't always have to be just white.
Yeah.
and mirror all around. All right, this question is for Brian, maybe from the supplier perspective. What advice can you give to maximize small bathroom spaces?
Um, I think that's a very good question. And with Scavolini solutions, you can actually maximize the space, whether it's horizontal or vertical, right? So if the space is small horizontally, the footprint is really small, then you can go up. We have cabinets that you can put like a mirror cabinet where you can open the mirror and there's storage inside. And then of course you can play around with the lighting. There's many different options in terms of lights above the mirror. Maybe Sonia, you can help me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Abbiamo, diciamo, una grandissima disponibilità di contenimento e anche per i piccoli bagni riusciamo a risolvere diverse problematiche. Poi è ovvio che la specifica problematica del cliente va affrontata sempre singolarmente, ma ad esempio i piccoli elementi a giorno che vedete anche in questa immagine sono tra gli elementi più venduti, questo a livello globale, quindi a volte anche il piccolo riesce a dare comunque una caratterizzazione importante all'ambiente e comunque a quello che è l'estetica del modello.
So, can you stop on this picture, please? And as Brian also
Before?
the one before this, yes,
Yeah.
this one. And as Brian has said, and we've been saying, we have lots of different solutions. So there's really lots of options that you can apply also to the small bathroom. It all depends what are the client requests. So what are their requests for a small bathroom? So what do they want this small bathroom to do for them? But there's really a lot of different things you can do. For example, we can see in this picture the small open fronted unit beside the mirror. That's one of our best sellers module all over the world. It's why? Because it's a very small element that can fit everywhere. It can give you a little bit of storage space, but also it comes in a lot of different colors. So it's just something really small that you can place in any bathroom, is useful, and also can help you create your statement, because even, in this case it's matching the wall, but you can have it in so many different colors. It can be your just a little bit of a point of color that you put there and changes the different completely the feeling of the bathroom. So there's lots of these little things that you can use and can really work even for small spaces.
All right. Thank you for that question. We move on to the next one. This is coming from IDR Marcos Ramos. His question is, how do you design a bathroom with no windows? Interesting. Maybe I can throw this question to chat first, and then Brian to see if Scavolini, Brian and Sonia to see if Scavolini has an answer for that. But maybe let's start with chat first.
That's pretty common here,
Yeah.
A lot of condos don't have windows in their
That's right.
bathroom. So usually we make up for that with mirrors. So we do the double reflection again and have like lights that reflect back and play with a cove lighting on the vanity, cove lighting on the ceiling. So you have that. And normally the tiles that we choose a lighter color just to highlight the space more.
Yeah, I think I agree. With Scavolini, we have mirrors that has that halo effect. It's backlit, and so it creates that 3D effect wherein you feel like you're in a bigger space. I think being a condo owner myself, one of the things that one of our pet peeves is that the exhaust system has to be ducted out of the unit. Sometimes contractors do shortcuts wherein there's just a exhaust fan that doesn't go anywhere. So sometimes it reverts back into the lighting fixture, and there's not really a good exhaust system. So I think if there's no window, it's very important to focus on that as well. That's outside of our product, but yeah.
All right.
Io
Sonia?
sì, sono d'accordo con Chat che l'uso dei colori chiari e l'uso anche intelligente degli specchi possa aiutare molto a risolvere, diciamo, quello che è l'ambiente bagno senza la finestra. Credo che un'altra cosa molto importante sia la luce, quindi riuscire a modulare la luce in maniera puntuale, quindi sia con l'integrazione delle luci nelle specchiere che anche con dei punti luce pensati nei posti giusti in modo che l'ambiente sembri meno angusto. E non so, Pietro, vado un attimo avanti. L'uso ad
Vai.
esempio anche del vetro nel contenimento. Vedevamo prima il progetto Diesel Living Get Together. L'uso di questi vetri trasparenti può aiutare anche ad alleggerire un po' l'effetto del contenimento del mobile, quindi aiutare ad alleggerire un po' la percezione dello spazio.
So Sonia agrees absolutely with what Chat has said. So light colors definitely help a lot, and mirrors also. It also help to
Very
make the
important
space
point.
feel less cramped. And lighting also, as Brian has mentioned and Chat has mentioned, so lighting in the mirror, but also some points of lights strategically placed in the right places can help make the space feel more spacious. One other thing is that we have seen a picture of our the one that's in Brian's background, our latest model, which is the Diesel Misfit. You can also have a glass door in the vanity cabinet. So this is also, yes, like this one. Having a glass there also can help to make the space feel more spacious. So this is another option that can be considered if you have small spaces in the bathroom.
All right. Thank you very much. We move on to a question from Nicole Familaran. She says, how do you design a bathroom for the elderly and person with disabilities? Interesting. Chat, maybe we can start with you.
Well, with a bathroom for people with disabilities, they normally have a bigger space. So of course you have to consider, of course, when you say that, you'll have to have a space for a wheelchair and for the turning point of the wheelchair. And so
the clearances.
Yes, the clearances. And then your shower partitions have to be open. So it's easy for them because you have to consider this without a nurse. So they can do this on their own. So things have to be accessible that way. And the showers, the fixture shouldn't be at a certain height that's higher. It's in the limit that it's hung on the side. And I would think the faucet should be touchless, sensor type. And then the counters, of course, cannot be full counters. And of course, with that, we hardly have baths usually, or it's the operable bath that you open up. But mostly the case here, we have nurses. And I used to do that for my dad. I had to transform his bathroom into a space for him that he could use a bathroom with a wheelchair. But he had an aide to bring him to the bathroom, no? But we took a lot of consideration into that. But of course, you have to consider first your floor. And, you know, I know it's unsightly, but there are a lot of grab bars everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not only in the water closet, but it's also in the shower, by the laundry, because, you know, sometimes people also have to consider that they like dressing up in the bathroom, especially those with needs that have to be sitting on a wheelchair after they take a bath. They want to dress up in the bathroom. So when they're dressed up, they have to be, everything has to be within reach. So you have to consider those.
Yeah.
Brian, anything you'd like to add?
I think it's with Scavolini, actually we have a utility system for the kitchen. So maybe Pietro, Sonia, maybe it's a good idea to think about the utility system for the bathrooms as well. That will probably have more needs or demands in terms of the clients, especially here in the Philippines, because we take care of our elders, our grandparents. They live with us. It's not popular here in the Philippines to have to send them to a home for the aged, or there's no concept like that here in the Philippines. Most of the time, the elders stay with us. So maybe that's a good idea. I think
same in Italy.
Yeah, as Chat was
Yeah.
saying, you know, the counters, you can't really put cabinetry underneath, especially if you have a wheelchair, so that the wheelchair can slot in under the counter, so they can use the, you know, the sink, brush their teeth by themselves and things like that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as
So,
as
Pietro, go
as you
ahead.
mentioned, we were, yeah, so just as Brian mentioned, we were the first company to have what we call the utility system, which is an accessible system for the kitchen. This was some years ago, but it's still available. And so there's many solutions to make it more accessible for people with disabilities or the elderly or people on the wheelchair. And it's an interesting input that maybe we can look into to, you know, do something similar also for the bathroom system.
Yeah.
So that's something that's definitely an interesting direction to
Yeah.
to look into for the future.
Sì, scusate, in Scavolini in questo momento nell'ambiente bagno esistono degli accessori che noi diamo disponibili per l'accessibilità alla zona dei sanitari, quindi quelli sono accessori, diciamo, abbastanza trasversali. La differenza rilevante tra l'ambiente cucina, che necessita proprio di una progettazione specifica degli elementi d'arredamento, il bagno riesce ad essere un po' più flessibile, nel senso che, come dicevamo prima, l'importante è che la persona riesca a ruotare con la carrozzina, ad esempio, sotto la zona acqua. E in Scavolini è possibile realizzare delle mensole sospese, quindi dove è in appoggio sopra la zona acqua, quindi permettere comunque la rotazione e lo spostamento della carrozzina. Stessa cosa, come diceva Chat poco fa, il fatto di poter inserire il piatto doccia a filo con il pavimento, quindi poter accedere direttamente alla zona della doccia. Questo è già possibile farlo con i moduli Scavolini.
Okay, so Sonia was saying that the approach from the bathroom and the kitchen is a little bit different, because in the case of the kitchen, if you want to make it accessible, you really need to have a complete concept to a complete different concept of a kitchen. The normal kitchen will not work ever. But the bathroom is a little bit more flexible. For example, we already have some accessories in our line to make the toilet more accessible. Those are already available. These are like, let's say, standard solutions for this. And as Chat has mentioned, what's really important is that if someone has to access with a wheelchair, they have space to turn. And this can be done because we already have we can already make the vanity cabinet, the vanity worktop very low. So there's, yeah, very thin. So there's space below for the wheelchair. This is already something that is possible to be done with the Scavolini line. Another thing that's also Chat mentioned is that the shower enclosure should be flush with the rest of the flooring, so you can go in. And this again is something that is already possible to be done with our shower systems. So there's already a few things that are there, you know, for to make the bathroom more accessible if needed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia and Pietro. I think that this is a nice way to end the discussion. Lots to think about for our future designers out there. Again, Sonia and Pietro, thank you for sharing your time with us today. Before we let you go, maybe Sonia can give us, if there's anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers, just some final words of advice that they can take with them as they start designing their own spaces.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to
C'hai qualche l'ultima frase, l'ultimo consiglio che vuoi lasciare agli ascoltatori prima che chiudiamo? Una frase.
Ma direi che, diciamo, lavorando in questo settore, una cosa che ho imparato è che osservare i dettagli è importante, quindi saper valutare la qualità di quello che avete davanti come prodotto e di conseguenza poterlo poi comunicare nel miglior modo possibile al cliente finale. Quindi ormai la ricerca, che diciamo una volta non era così, il privato aveva meno consapevolezza di quello che è la qualità e il design a livello internazionale. Adesso abbiamo a che fare con clienti sempre più formati, sempre più informati, e quindi avere un'attenzione al dettaglio è veramente fondamentale per i progettisti, i designer e gli architetti futuri.
So one thing that has changed in the market in recent years is that the end user, the clients, are much more well informed than they used to be in the past. They know a lot more about products. They know the information is so much more easily accessible than they used to have in the past. So it's very important for an architect to really pay attention to details, to really know when they're introducing a product to their clients, actually introduce the product in the right way, and to know what are the one product and the other one, because this is what will sometimes make the difference in the service that you provide to your clients.
All right. Thank you once again, Sonia and Pietro, for joining us today and for making time.
Thank you.
Chat, thank you also for being so generous with your
Thank
time
you.
and your insight, your invaluable insight, and just sharing with us your thoughts. Is there anything you'd like to say to the many students, industry partners, clients, and friends who have joined us today before we let you go?
Well, what I'd like to say is, just be passionate with everything you do. This is mainly for the students, not to the clients. Well, also the clients, but be passionate
It's a
in everything
good blanket rule.
be passionate in everything you do. Be brave. Um, always believe in yourself, and take inspiration from everything. Even whatever you see every day. So learn from that, and from there things will develop, and you take inspiration from there and think you can create beautiful things from there.
Take inspiration from every day so you can create beautiful things. I like that. Thank you once again, chat, for joining us today. Of course, we'd also like to thank Modularity Home for bringing us together today. They are the reason for why these conversations just keep getting better and better each time. So, Brian, is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap things up?
Thanks, Nikki. First of all, I wanted to thank you. You're a very good host. You're the greatest host we've had.
Wow.
Not just because of your capability to do this, because it's also because of your passion for design. And I think having that passion for design and be given that background, I think it's a really good fit for us. So thank you, Nikki. I'm sure we will
Thanks,
have
Brian.
live events soon, and we'll see each other soon. Please send my regards to BJ.
Fingers crossed. Will do.
Sonia and Pietro, thank you so much for your time today. This is the very first MODTalks wherein we invited a partner. Scavolini is the biggest brand that we work with. I remember more than 10 years ago, my wife saw Scavolini in Salone, and she told me, hey, we have to work with that brand. And ever since, you guys have been a very good partner to us. We're like family, even if we're afar, and we really appreciate working with you. Chat, thank you so much for your time. I know we've been trying to work together a lot, and I know that you have like big projects, and I wanted to thank you for giving us the time of day today to share your knowledge, to help us market the product. I'm passionate about our products and about this industry, but when I talk to you, you're on another level. And that creates even more passion for me and for a lot of people. So thank you for your time. Lastly, I wanted to thank everyone who joined today. I know most of the people go out now. I go out now, and I hope you guys continue to support MODTalks, and I think it's a very good venue for us to collaborate, to talk to each other, and to discuss about design and their products. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you again to Sonia, Pietro, and of course, Chat for joining us today.
You.
And
Thank you.
And of course, to our audiences for listening into our conversation. And we hope that you can join us again for our upcoming episodes. But before we let you go, we'd just like to announce the two winners from our Q&A portion earlier. So congratulations to Holland Lynn and to Nicole Familaran for your awesome questions that really got the conversation going. So thank you very much. You get to take home these awesome goodies flashed on your screens right now. For those of you who are interested in making your own Scavolini bathroom or Scavolini kitchen, you may visit Modularity Homes Scavolini showrooms at the Peninsula Manila and SM Mega Mall to experience their systems firsthand. You may follow and reach out to Modularity Home and Chat Forest Design Studio via the contact details flashed on your screens. This episode, along with other previous episodes, if you would like to watch them, are uploaded in Modularity Home's YouTube page. So kindly check that out as well. And that is it for today. Thank you again for joining us. This has been your host, Nikki Hill Albert. Stay safe and see you all next time. Bye.
Thank you.